Hey, fifth grade, this is Miss Gibson. I will be going over reading with you today. So, the text that you guys will be getting into is Virtue Goes to Town. Once you're done, you guys will also be getting into the six multiple choice, of course, and then coming back to this video so we can chat about what's going on and the answer choices. When you are reading this text, make sure you are tracking the main character, what we're learning about this main character. Since it's a fiction text, you need to be going over the conflict and the resolution. When you're doing the conflict and resolution, what does this majority of the time lead to? Exactly, the theme. So you need to figure out what lesson is this text actually teaching you, because then this will help you understand the story even better. So go ahead and pause the video, get into the text, track what you're reading on the paper or on a separate sheet of paper. Make sure you're writing down notes of things that stand out to you. You can even preview the multiple choice questions so that you are ready to answer those questions and where you can find the pieces of evidence for as you're reading. So pause the video, get into the work, and then come back to me. All right, welcome back. So, as you guys read, you guys should have been tracking for the characters, what we're learning about the main character, the conflict, the resolution, and the potential theme for the story. So, we're going to go over those first, and then after that, we're going to get into the multiple choice for this text. So, clearly, it states at the beginning of the passage that read the passage, read the passage, a Chinese fable about a man named Virtue and answer the questions that follow. So clearly, we know right now our main character of the story is Virtue because he's right here in our initial information. And then it's talking about Virtue goes to town. So after that, we're going to get into the setting. The setting is clearly the town that he is going to because that's where majority of the work that he was doing is from. Okay, so we're going to scroll down a little bit and we're going to get into conflict. So understand, he is in a new town around new people, and he is not getting the usual respect that he thinks that he should be getting. So he is not getting along with people. He's not getting along with the foreman. As it says right here, I'm the boss here. I say how we do things and get back there. So the foreman right here already stating that he does not like him. He doesn't like that Virtue is a braggart. So that's what he's calling him. And then also the other men don't really care for him either. So especially when he's giving them feedback every single morning, like all these nice statements, but they don't really care for him. Okay. So that is our main conflict right now. So he is not getting the respect that he deserves from the men. Like nobody appreciates him. As it says right here, I do my job, but no one appreciates me. So maybe I'll just have another bowl full. Like no one's showing him any good love, even though he's working hard to make sure that they are finally eating. So if you move down to the final piece of this story, the resolution, is the men finally showing him some respect. Okay. So he goes out of his way to show that he is having a good heart. And then he is also getting the respect that he finally deserves right here. No one will ever mistake you for a modest man, but your heart's in the right place. So actually, when they realize that he could stand up for them and do what he actually says that he can do, then they now want to be his friend. All right. So let's move on to the multiple choice. So the first multiple choice. In paragraph one, why does virtue say that the wise woman can read a face like a page in a book? Okay. So we're going to scroll back up to paragraph one right here. After Virtue had buried his parents, he went to see the wise woman. And so this is where this piece comes up, right? But can we actually get something from paragraph one? No, we kind of need to read a little bit further just to understand what's going on. So in paragraph four, it says, the wise woman studied his face a long time. She patted his shoulder sadly, then go into town. So he is going to this lady, asking what his destiny is, basically trying to figure his life out, right? And the woman is giving him some type of information so it could help him. So she's studying his face, okay? The answer choices. A, she helps people write down their ideas. She creates stories based on people she meets. She knows a lot about people just by looking at them. She shares knowledge with people when she first sees them. The best answer choice for this is C, okay? The reason why it's C is because when you look at the text, you're realizing that she is studying his face to understand him better, okay? She needs to study his face for a long time. And in order to figure out and help you answer this question, you needed to read on to paragraph 4. Every single time that you are given an answer choice that is in a certain paragraph, you may need to venture down a little bit more into the text just to understand it further. Okay? Answer choice 2. What is the main purpose? Sorry. What is the main purpose of paragraphs 1 through 4? A, to show where virtue learned his skills. B, to explain why virtue makes a change in his life. C, to describe why virtue has a problem with the workers. D, to show that virtue plans to study with the wise woman. Okay, I'm going back to the text. So they're telling me to look at 1 through 4. Okay, within these paragraphs right here, I am definitely not understanding where he learned his skills from. So we're definitely crossing off A. Okay. I am not really getting why he has problems with the workers right here. So C is definitely out. So I have B and D left. So B, to explain why virtue makes a change in his life, or D, to show that virtue plans to study with the wise woman. I'm going to go with answer choice B because it states right here after virtue had buried his parents. So one, he had to bury his parents. He is going to this wise woman and saying, "Tell me what my destiny is." My destiny is so, like, what is he looking forward to in life? What is he getting out of his life? What should he be doing with his life? Okay. So, this is why answer choice B, to explain why virtue makes a change in his life, makes the most sense for this answer choice. Okay. So, B for number 2. Let's go to number 3. Read paragraph 15 in the box. I can outplow a water buffalo and can harvest more than 20 folk, Virtue said. Based on the fable, why does Virtue make the claims in the paragraph? So you have A, he is trying to impress the foreman. B, he is sharing goals that he has set for himself. C, he is exaggerating to entertain the other workers. Or D, he was repeating the prediction of the wise woman. So, first, and foremost, before we even go back to the text, we can definitely cross out D because this prediction wasn't from the wise woman at all. So we should already know that D should not be an answer choice. Okay. So we have A, B, and C right now just to focus on. Now I'm going to go to paragraph 15. So paragraph 15, it literally just says this one piece right here. I can outplow a water buffalo and can harvest more than 20 folk. First, who is he saying this line to? What is he trying to get out of this? So you guys need to realize that you need to venture back up but just a little bit and look at where paragraph 6 is. It says, a talisman leaning against a wall looked at Virtue, then looked away again, but Virtue's voice was loud, and he was such a pest that the talisman finally said, they're hiring workers. So this is going into why he's stating this statement, right? So he is trying to get a job. He wants to be signed up to, as it says in paragraph 7, I left the farm to see the world and get rich. So he is saying what he can do, which is I can outplow a water buffalo and can harvest more than 20 folk in paragraph 15. And he's saying that to the foreman who is hiring the workers. Okay. And it says right here, the others were too afraid to say anything else, but everyone watched as he stomped up to the foreman. So he is saying this to the foreman to try and get this job because he's already coming from a place where he knows his craft. Okay. So that leaves us to say that the answer choice for number 3 is A. He is trying to impress the foreman. Okay. So he's doing and saying all these things. He knows what he's used to in his other town. So he's making sure he's being able to share that right now with this person who is hiring. All right, let's go to number 4. Number 4, in paragraph 44, what is the most likely reason Virtue says that wouldn't wash a cat's tail? A, he is thinking about his old home. B, he is amused by the men's actions. C, he is showing an interest in animals. Or D, he is disappointed with the men's work. I mean, effort. Sorry. So we're going to go to paragraph 44 and see what's going on there. So it says, when Virtue came back, he shook his head when he saw the one pot of hot water. You're supposed to have hot water for me. That wouldn't wash a cat's tail. And then he saw the pot of rice they had cooked for him. I've done the work of 20 men. I've got the hunger of 20 men. That wouldn't even feed a mouse. So, as you can see, if we even scroll up right here to paragraph 43, it says, so Virtue left the others back in camp and marched off to work with the foreman. The foreman set a pace, but Virtue did not complain. By the end of the day, he done all the work and more, much to the surprise of the foreman. So right now, let's look back at our answer choices. So he's definitely not thinking about his old home in this manner. So we should be marking that off. He is amused by the men's actions. He doesn't really seem amused in this type of scenario right now. He shook his head. That's definitely not a sign of amusement, right? Okay. So let's go to he is showing an interest in animals. I don't think he's showing an interest in animal. He's more interested in eating in this point. So he's waiting for his hot water, he's waiting for the rice, and he's realizing that anything that all 20 men just prepared won't even feed one mouse. Lastly, he is disappointed with the men's efforts. He went out, right, and did all the work that all 20 men could do, plus more, by himself. Okay. So when he is coming back, he's expecting things to already be ready to go just as he would for the men. But instead, this doesn't happen. So he is definitely disappointed because he's done all this work and more. And then, which is why that answer D is the most likely reason for Virtue saying this. He is disappointed with the men's efforts. There are 20 men. Why aren't there more food and water available? Let's go to number 5. In paragraph 50, what is the most likely reason Virtue winks at the crew? A, to hint at a big secret. B, to signal them to be quiet. C, to show he is on their side. D, to show he is making a joke. So let's go to paragraph 50 and see what's going on. Remember, we are always going back to the text to check our work and make sure that we are connecting everything to these specific paragraphs. And of course, if we need to, reading a little bit above or below that specific paragraph when we are answering the questions. So, paragraph 50. But Virtue had learned a few things since he had left the farm. He winked at the rest of the crew. We're all a team. He turned back to the foreman. You're not going to fire them, are you? Okay. So let's dig deep into why he's stating this. Okay, so to hint at a big secret, I don't think he's hinting at any big secret right now. There's no possible reason why he would be winking at them for a big secret. To signal them to be quiet. They weren't really talking before. It was him and the foreman. So that's also not a reason why that will be even an option. Okay. So realize that if you read a little bit more into paragraph 51, it adds on the foreman had been planning to do that very thing. So after Virtue asked, you're not going to fire them, are you? The foreman was already thinking of firing them because he's going to be greedy with his money, save all this money and just pay one guy, and then not really care about the rest of these men who need money to live and survive. So he's basically right now on their side. Okay. So realize that he is trying to show he is on their side because he wanted to push this whole thing about being a team and making sure that everyone is working hard together and not just independently. All right. Last one. Let's go to 6. What does the narrator's point of view mainly help the reader learn? A. Virtue's thoughts. B. Virtue's appearance. C. Foreman's background. D. Foreman's good qualities. So let's do process of elimination right here, just based off of what we know. D, the foreman's good qualities. Right now, it kind of showed us that he was being greedy. So especially in paragraph 51. So that should not be an answer choice. Okay. The foreman's background. We do not know much about the foreman at all in this story. The majority of the story was not about the foreman, so that should not be an option. If we go to B, Virtue's appearance, we don't really know much about how he looks, okay? So that should not be an option either. All right. And then lastly, the virtue's thoughts. We know his thoughts because he is expressing himself all throughout this story. So realize he is constantly sharing his thoughts, asking questions, saying what he can do and how he can do these specific tasks. So we are constantly getting virtue's thoughts throughout the story. All right. Now let's go on. You guys will now get into your writing. So, this essay, write an essay explaining what the fable teaches about judging people too quickly. All right. So, this is coming from that conflict and resolution work that you guys just did before the multiple choice. So make sure you bring out those notes to help you answer this writing prompt. Make sure you are in Google Classroom answering this and then also referring back to the text because it says be sure to use details from the fable to develop your essay. So this needs to be a well thought out essay. You need to have a thesis, your assertions, your evidence, context, analysis, everything in that story just as if we were in writing class and using specific evidence to prove your point on what this tells us about judging people too quickly. So go into that initial conflict that we pointed out and get into that resolution because it's definitely showing us what like a lesson behind that judging people too quickly. All right. So good. Get on over to Google Classroom and begin your writing. Make sure you are typing it there so you can get all of the feedback. All right. Happy Monday. Hope to talk to you guys soon. Bye.